Hi, you guys. Welcome to Dog Hugs. Geraldine, it is so great to see you.
Hi, Larry. It's great to see you, and welcome to Dog Hugs, everybody.
Look at Spider. He is doing so well. I'm just so proud of him. Thank you for all the work you've been helping with him.
Yeah. Absolutely. Behavior is a thing.
Look
how good he is. He's becoming so much more calm and relaxed during the lives, and he's taking your lead in a better way.
Yeah.
Every day he's taking that demotion and promotion like a trooper.
Yeah, but before he even gets started barking, I'm going to get him going on his busy box here. Yeah, we're going to put
He's so beautiful.
Basket. All right, so we're coming here live to you from the laundry lounge, and let's walk over into the studio and get it set up. Come on up here, Spider. Come on, start up here.
There's that cool banner.
Oh yes, right. All right, there you go. Have at it.
He digs in.
Geraldine, I want to talk about your experiences in Las Vegas.
Wow.
You've got some stories, and we have a really special guest today, John D. Domenico, who's going to be with us in a little bit from Las Vegas. And go ahead, set us up here. I mean, you're in Las Vegas.
I know it's crazy, and I'm so humbled as I think back over all the years I spent there training, living, thriving, having a blast. And some of those years weren't the best, but they were all memorable, lessons learned, and so fantastic. But I was lucky enough to work with some of the most talented people in one of the most amazing areas with an animal loving community that was beyond compare. And so when I decided to make my move after college and land somewhere to have a career and to actually be able to train dogs on a regular basis full time, I had a few requirements. One of them was sun. Just like you'll see, our guest today chose Las Vegas for its 351 days of sun every year. Should say 360 because it seems like it's sunny every day plus some. And also, it really is. It's beautiful. And also, I needed outdoor activities. I wanted to be able to hike like crazy and wakeboard and go water skiing or snow skiing pretty much in the same day during certain months. I was super active. And then you're not far from the beach. But more important than that, everyone there can own a dog. And a lot of people go there to retire, and you can be outside where the weather's gorgeous. So I made my move there for those reasons. But I stayed because it was so dog friendly, and so people were so wonderful. As our guest will mention again today, the city hugs you and it keeps you there. If you find a great community to hang with, you stay forever. So it was a really great thing for me. And also the New York and LA entertainment scene is always there, and people travel there all the time for conventions or for work or for vacation. So you're going to see a lot of your friends, and you don't always have to leave that gorgeousness, right?
That is really wild. It took me, being in Los Angeles is easy for me to get to Las Vegas.
Right.
It's a car drive, and it's been a while since I've been there, but it took me a long time to acclimate being there, because the sense I had was it's just about the strip. And for me, at least my personality, that introverted part of me, would just get kind of overwhelmed by the buzz and all that kind of thing. And so I enjoyed the buzz, and then I was done with it. So my bias initially was that's all that Las Vegas is.
And that's happens.
And it wasn't until I stayed with some friends that I began to understand it really has its own sense of place that is beyond the strip.
Absolutely. It has its own heartbeat.
That's really
so
beautiful.
A really great place for me to thrive. Plus, there are no fleas, no ticks. I mean, there's a lot of advantages besides that kept me there for as long as I was there, and I miss it every day. I I do say a lot of prayers and have a lot of friends still there. And I'm always reaching out to them with everything I can do to help the city in terms of keep the spirit going, because it's a really great place. But I was spoiled when I was there. I mean, I trained for executives at hotels, so I had, carte blanche, tickets for concerts and never had to wait in line for anything. And that gets a little spoiling, So I do miss that. But the talent I worked with, and the experiences I had, good or bad, I would never change a thing. I would do it all over again because it was so wonderful. And I'm still doing it, but I just do it a little differently now. So today, one of our guests is going to really discuss what it's like to be a part of Vegas, be a part of the heartbeat, and making life career choices like I did to go from the East Coast or the Midwest to the West Coast and affect people's lives. And it's really, he's really unique, and it's a neat tie-in to today.
Well, let's go ahead and introduce John.
And there it's really hard to find all of the words to introduce most of our guests because they are so special. I mean, they really are. And John Domenico is one of those. He's an Emmy-nominated actor, writer, comedian, and he is currently known for his award-winning Donald Trump impersonation, as seen and heard on Conan O'Brien, Howard Stern just recently again, Chelsea Handler. He was just on the James Corden show again, Fox News. And John's also been profiled on NBC News, CNN, ABC's Nightline, Vice, and many other news outlets.
John Domenico is also the winner of the Best of Las Vegas Silver. It's a big local award. ABC's The View National Trump Contest, the Laugh Factory's International Trump Competition, and Domenico was immortalized as Trump on the Las Vegas Wall of Honor. You can see John's comedy special on Amazon Prime. And one of the things Geraldine and I love about John is he's always been a dog lover. And Geraldine, he is so grateful to you for helping him with his German Shepherds, Buddy and Zach, who we're going to get to see some pictures of, and his little dogs, 50 Cent and French Fry. So without further ado, let's bring on John Domenico.
Well, welcome to Dog Hugs, John Domenico. Good morning.
Welcome, John. It's so
Thank
great
you for having me.
Yes, it's so great to have to be able to share another amazing thing that comes out of the Philly area, and that is you.
Yes, I'm one of their experts.
We are so lucky to have you here today, and there are so many topics that we would love to jump into. But let's start with one that is just like me. You traveled all the way from the East Coast to Vegas. So tell us a little bit about how you ended up in Vegas with the first two dogs that I met you with.
Well, I was on the road about 25, 30 weeks a year performing, and I eventually thought, wow, I was coming back from a job in San Diego in February. And San Diego in February is beautiful compared to anywhere else in the country. And I came back into New York, and it was raining, and it was cold, and it was industrial, and we punched through the clouds, and I was like, oh, I can't stand living here anymore, even though I'm from that part of the world. And I made the decision to move to Las Vegas. Actually, I just wanted to get out of that part of the country. And I looked around, and I don't know what your experience was, but I had a friend here who was working one of the Cirque shows, and I said, I'm thinking of moving. I got to get out of here. And I looked at San Diego, far too expensive. LA it's just a mess. Orlando is.
Thank you very much, John.
Yeah, it's like prehistoric times. And she said, how about Las Vegas? I'm like, really? Las Vegas? And she said, when are you coming out next? And I said, I'll be out in like 2 weeks. She said, plan 2 extra days. And she actually got me off the strip and showed me around. And I'm like, oh, this is a real town with real people and a real community and a lot of families. And it was just like a really much more wonderful place than I ever realized. And then within a very short period of time, I moved here to Las Vegas, and that was it. And I've fallen in love with this place. the entertainment community opened their arms up here. They welcomed me with open arms, and I'd never really experienced anything like that. Philly, New York, everyone's really working hard and they're helpful. But here, since everybody is from someplace else, everyone's like, oh, you need to know this person. Let me take you to this party, and you need to be introduced to this. And they would physically like take you to places, and I'd never experienced that before. So the entertainment community here is so supportive. It's so unique. People.
And I'm glad that you. Go ahead. No, go ahead.
No, I was going to say, and I ended up getting. That's when I ended up getting Buddy and Zach when I was here. It worked out great. And I was married at the time, so when I traveled, it really didn't. My ex-wife was able to take care of the dogs. And then when we got divorced, it was very tough being on the road as much as I was. So I had to find them homes, and I really wanted to make sure they were placed in really good homes with people who were family people. Because I hated in the beginning when I was gone, and I would know for 4 or 5 days they had somebody coming by and giving them, walking. It's not right. I mean, a dog needs kind of a consistency and a structure for them just to feel safe and for them to be just a great asset to the family.
John, tell us about your dogs right now.
Okay. They're Michelle's dogs. Yes,
okay.
The Jack Russell Chihuahua and the Min Pin. Yeah.
Yes. 50 Cent and French Craft.
50 Cent. Yeah. He's a great. They're great. Totally different. I mean, it's a totally different experience with little dogs and big dogs. Big dogs because they're so large, they give you like this almost human component in their personality, the way they look at you. It's fascinating. Well, pugs are small. It's the same thing. When I look at a pug, he always seems like he's about to say, I know you. Like certain animals have this thing in their face. They're about to talk. Yeah, the growl gets serious. Right. You always expect a pug to say, hey, how you doing, pal? Good to see you. What's going on? This is my buddy, Rocco.
Oh, that's so true. So do tell, between the large dogs and the small dogs, do tell this little tidbit. Did they react to you differently, John, when you were in character, voice or no voice? Did you play tricks on them with your characters?
I think they were early on. These guys, the little ones, they're not phased. The big ones they were confused. The German Shepherds, because Buddy was a German Shepherd Great Dane. In the photo, you'll see how he is a big dog. And then Buddy was a German Shepherd Akita Chow. And they would do the dog thing where they go, and then they would hear me speak, and then they would go, oh, okay, it's him. But a wig, contact, whatever it was, it would always throw them off. And any kind of facial appliance, if I was Leno and I had a chin on it, it really took them a while to kind of figure out what was going on.
Could you talk to them in your voice and that something would begin to register?
Yeah, they would recognize the voice. They would recognize the voice. They're great with that. They're really great with your natural voice. But if I was doing Austin Powers, baby, they'd
be like, let's sell him for $1 million.
They would be a little thrown off, like, what is coming out of him? That's not what usually comes out of him. All right, doggies, attack.
I can imagine from around the corner in your home,
that you give it in your voice, and then they're confronted by.
I remember doing. I noticed with the big dogs, if I wore shades when I was doing Guy Fieri, and I had the glasses on. Like,
Yeah.
Everybody was driving the bus to Flavortown, baby. Piece of taco grease. That's right. And if my eyes were covered, they really got spooked because they couldn't. I guess they register something in the eyes, so they couldn't see my eyes, and the voice was different, so they were totally thrown off.
Well, and your smell is thrown off by the costumes as well, because
the glue. If you're gluing the wigs
yes.
on, mustache pieces, all that stuff. Because even I pick up that scent.
And sprays. You have wigs. You have all powders. You have all kinds of things.
Yeah,
it completely throws them off.
Yeah.
John, if Guy Fieri had some a recipe for your dogs, would it include bacon?
Absolutely, baby. Yeah, that's right. You got to have the bacon. I'm driving the bus to Flavortown, and we know it's in Flavortown, bacon, baby. Lots and lots of bacon.
You're giving away my training secret. I keep bacon in my pocket. That's hilarious. No, it's such a joy to watch you perform, John. And I know that you have thrilled and entertained millions, multi-millions, hundreds of millions of people now across the world. And you understand how important it is for how your pets, when you come home, 50 Cent and French Fry now, help calm you, because being on the road is hard. It's not easy. Being an entertainer is not easy. And I share a lot of similarity with you in terms of when I moved to Vegas, not being an artist, but being a trainer, was completely surrounded by artists, trained a lot of their dogs, loved the community, loved how Vegas is such a great city outside of the Strip.
It really is.
Great heart, and how there's such an animal caring community. So
a lot of pets here.
Lots of pets. It is. So we thank you for all of that, but most importantly, thank you for understanding that gift and allowing animals to come into your life and help calm you. I'm on the road a lot as well, as you know. I know how much my animals calm me. So thanks for imparting that wisdom and being a part of the animal loving family and being a part of our family.
And French Fry has this thing, as soon as you even come near him, he drops on his back, rolls over, and he wants the belly. So it's always like, you want the belly? You want the belly? You want the belly? So he's just one of, so you have to focus in and give him a little belly rub. And he's very sweet dog.
It sounds like Kevin trained well. He's a good diva.
And they're always happy to see you. That's the beauty of dogs. They're always happy. It's kind of like Austin Powers. He's always happy to see you too, baby. Yeah. So the dogs are the same way. They're just always happy when you're home, and they want to be with you. And then you first come off the road, they have that thing. They catch the different scents and where you've been, and then they get bored with you, and then they kind of trail off.
Like, you've been around other dogs, haven't you, Dad? We're not very happy right now. We'll forgive you.
Dogs had 4 legs.
Well, humor is what helps sustain us in life in general, especially in times like these, where things are a little hairy. And they're probably going to be a little hairy for a little while, maybe even get a little hairier. So I'm definitely on board with humor helping me sustain my everyday attitude of, being open and accepting and helping, being helpful, being compassionate, being all of those things that are going to help bring us all back together as a society in a stronger, better way. So we appreciate you and how much humor you bring, especially just to anything. I mean, you make me laugh every day. So I always love following your social media feeds. Make sure you follow John's social media. Oh my goodness, you will. It will light up your every day.
Just trying to spread some mirth and merriment in these times. And I remember Jack Lemmon was talking about Ernie Kovacs, who I'm a huge fan of.
Oh gosh!
And he was talking about, we always say sense of humor. We have a sense of smell. We have these different senses, and he talked about humor, having a sense of humor. Like it can be developed, and it's a wonderful thing to have, to shoot these crazy things in life, even with not COVID, all the things that come into your life, through a prism of humor, it helps you deal with it better. It helps to give you a little more perspective. And if it can be satirical about the things that are happening now, it can maybe enlighten you a little more and make you laugh at the same time.
Oh, thank you for that wisdom. I really, really love that. I had not considered it as a sense in as we smell and so forth. John, what's it like as the Strip begins now to reopen? What's the experience of that?
The experience is kind of a slow opening. I did my first charity event 2 nights ago for the St. Jude's Ranch for Children, which helps sexually abused children who've been sex trafficked to raise money. Usually this event would be 300-400 people. We'd be drinking and eating. Obviously none of that stuff was possible, but it was a hybrid event where we had about 50 people at a venue called Notoriety, and then the rest was streamed. But it was great to have at least some of a live audience, because I've done all streaming things where it's just me in a studio and a camera person. So it was really nice to have people and to have that energy. So things are happening. They're slowly evolving. The governor here, Sisolak, has put in mandatory face masks as of last night, midnight. So whatever we can do to safely open, I would, this town, unlike any other town in the United States, is truly built on tourism. There's not one, other than like doctors, lawyers, and some other things, there's very few people here that aren't not impacted by tourism and hospitality and gaming. So to figure out a way that we can make this happen safely is really important. And they're doing it right. They're doing it slowly. Our cases are, we haven't had an explosion, thank God, like some of these other states. So they are doing it right, and the people that are coming here are aware of what they need to do and are acting upon that. So
beautiful.
Yeah, and I'm working today. I'm leaving. I'm getting into makeup after this, getting into Trump, and going to the Venetian to do a bit for literally for 2 people, but. It's
literally?
Yeah, it's for some high rollers that are coming in. So I'm going to greet them in their enormous suite. Of course, it's not a Trump hotel, and if it's not a Trump hotel, it's a dump hotel. But this is Sherwood. So that's okay. That's okay. That's okay.
It's okay.
It's okay. It's okay. He's a friend. He's a friend. A great friend. Tremendous friend. He gave me $500 million. Yeah, so
you're so awesome.
It's there's something as a performer to be even in front of 2 people in a live audience makes all the difference in the world. I've been doing a lot of Zoom performances for my corporate clients, and it's weird to see all these little tiny postage stamp faces, but they have to shut the mics off so there's no ambient sound. So I don't even look. I'm on an enormous screen right now, but I don't even look at the faces because it'll throw me off. I just look at the little green light and do my whatever character it is. If I'm Ozzy Osbourne, man, Sharon, what's going on, man? But if I look at them and I don't see people, if they're like, what's happening? It's like a Nightmare Brady Bunch scenario.
I so want to dress up like Ozzy Osbourne and walk up to my dogs and go, I love it. I love it.
John, you're also a creator.
Right.
And what drives you as a creator?
Well, when I was a kid, my dad got us a Super 8 movie camera, so I started making movies when I was 13, 14 years old, and I wanted to create my own thing. I think it's just an extension of expressing yourself, to put yourself out there. I'm an actor, but actors have to wait for a production, have to wait for a movie or a TV show, and there's a percentage of us performers who can't wait. I can't wait. I have to do something myself. So so you know how it is. So at this point in history, with YouTube, with Vimeo, with all of these platforms, Facebook, Twitter, you can literally shoot something And you know, without editing, if you edit in camera and have it up within an hour, and for me with my characters, especially with Trump, when things are like super timely because the news cycle is just constantly moving, to get it up and to get it out and to see this reaction and to see something get 100,000 views, it's amazing. We did a bit where Trump visited the Walmart here in Vegas, and it was a blast. And I was working with the guy.
Hilarious. We'll share the link. We'll share the link.
5 million views.
Oh.
John, do you remember the first time you played Trump?
Yeah, the first time I played Trump was 2004. I had gotten a call from my agent, and I was, obviously back in New York, and I had been following Trump since the mid '80s because I just found him to be a fascinating guy. Living in Philly and New York are geographically very close, and I wanted to be an actor in New York, so I was trying to learn about New York, and I kept hearing about Donald Trump, and I was like, "Oh, this guy's really interesting." And then I auditioned. One of my agents called me and said, "Are you doing Trump yet?" And I said, "He's in my head," because I had already met him by that time. I'd met him in 1990 and at some other points. And I went in for this audition, which was a voiceover, and I got it. And it happened to be for him. It happened to be for the boardroom game, not the Apprentice game for legal reasons, the boardroom game at the Trump Taj Mahal. So I was the voice of Trump at that. And then the first time I ever appeared on television was in 2000 as Trump, was on Fox and Friends in 2006, again for Trump, because he was unavailable. And there was a cross promotion for Embassy Suites and The Apprentice, which was on that night. So they had to get somebody. And I was one of the few people doing Trump with full makeup and wig and the suit. They had me pull up in a limo, and I came on. And I got to be on and do about 3 or 4 different segments on Fox and Friends, and that kind of kicked off the TV. And that's 2006.
Well, of all your characters that you play, my favorite character is you. Oh. You are one of my favorite people. I have trained for a lot of people, and you are probably one of the most talented, creative, and just fun-loving human beings I've ever met. And it's not a wonder why your pets are in love with you, because every pet I've ever been around that's been around you has loved you. That tells me a lot about your heart and your soul, and I wish you all the luck in the world on a continued path of tremendous success that you're on. Tremendous. You're huge. And keep it up. But we're so proud of you. We're so blessed to have you here today. And so, to me, it's such an amazing thing to be able to call you a friend. So
you too. You know how I just think you're wonderful in what you do, and you helped me with Buddy and Zach so much. You totally changed my perspective on how to deal with them, and it just made them blossom. And made them just one. They were wonderful to begin with, but it just gave me guidance that I didn't have. I just, everyone thinks they get a pet and they know what to do, and it's not the case. It's just not the case.
Right. We can't know everything. We can't be experts at everything. We can try, but when you're dealing with a different species, sometimes we forget there are different species, and that's one of our first big hiccups. So we're really grateful for you, and grateful that you're an animal lover, obviously. And we also would love to ask you if you have a shelter shout out that you'd like to, that you would like to mention today.
Yes.
There are so many in your area. Name one of your favorites. I know there are many.
The one that I know of is Best Friends Animal Society. They are awesome. And I became aware of them through some other organizations that I've worked through. So, one of the things that's happening right now, and I'm sure you've talked about this, but because of what's happening with the pandemic, a lot of people are unfortunately abandoning their pets. It's a very sad situation, or they're choosing between feeding their kids or feeding their animals. So any of these organizations that are helping with these animals that are being displaced, abandoned, it's fantastic. It's a wonderful organization. Best Friends.
They are. We completely agree.
And John, this show is about gratitude and blessings. Is there somebody in your life or in the world today that you want to give a shout out to for some gratitude or send a blessing to?
Well, there's two things. I am so grateful. I've been very lucky. I've been able to continue working during almost nonstop. I'm just so very lucky and so very grateful to continue to be able to work. I have a lot of friends who aren't working, which just it's terrible. It's a crappy situation. But I just want to say gratitude to my fiance Michelle, who is just amazing, wonderful, supportive, loving person, and I'm so happy that we've met here in Las Vegas. Another wonderful part about Las Vegas. And she's an incredible person, and she brought the 2 dogs into my life, 50 Cent and French Fry.
Beautiful.
We love Michelle. She's wonderful, beautiful, sweet, and
also a big on the board of 2 different charitable organizations. So she's really upped my my giving game, giving time to different charitable organizations. And I've always thought about, as a performer, I was like, I want to give back. And someone's like, I'm going to help you give back. I'm going to direct you. I'm going to make it happen for you. So it's not just
no accidents.
No accident.
Well, we're grateful for both of you, and congratulations on your recent engagement. I look forward to watching both of your careers just flourish. So we're really, really grateful for both of you.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Well, break a leg today at the Venetian.
It's going to be huge. It's going to be huge.
Be huge.
Thank you so much for having me on. I love what you're doing. I love your work. You've helped how many animals and their families, and it's a wonderful thing. We all have to grow and learn. And you're making it possible.
Thank you. We will see you again very soon on a TV show or a news station or YouTube or social media.
A personalized Trump message.
Oh, definitely.
And I say it. So just go to cameo.com.
Okay, we'll do that, and also go to Amazon Prime. The video, the show. Yes, mention that quickly.
Yes, it's Amazon. I wrote with another writer. It's a day in the life of Trump. It's the day he opens his the Trump Presidential Library while he's still in office. So it's everything that happens on the run up to the opening, and it's just fake news, a Trump story.
Hilarious! I've seen it. It's great.
All right, you too. I'm going to go get into Trumpy.
All right. Thanks again.
Big hug, John. You'thebomb.com. Wow, love you. We'll see you soon. I'll be in Vegas probably in the next 6 months. We'll try to have dinner.
Please, I'll put on the hazmat suit. You'll put on the hazmat suit.
Perfect. We'll hug in the plastic tunnel. We'll hug in that big plastic tunnel.
All right, you too. I'll see you.
Thank you. Tell Michelle hi. Kiss the puppy. See you soon.
Oh, well, that was super fun.
My cheeks are sore from laughing.
Thanks again for John for joining us and enlightening our days.
And Michelle, yes, thank you. Yeah. He is hilarious. I love how he brings in he brings in that just that calmness. Like, I love how calm he is, and I think pets have really helped train him to be more and more calm in his life. I've watched that; it's been amazing.
You've seen that as a change in his life. Beautiful. Yes, I know that's true in my own life. Yeah. Speaking of calm, look who's back. Who's done with the busy box right on time. Attaboy, Spider. How about you?
Wow.
Shoulder. Attaboy, little buddy. Yeah, he did really well. Let's move from the Launder Lounge over into the studio. Yeah, he made good work of that. Yeah,
that was perfect timing.
Oh, there you go, buddy. Well, I think he's a little show smart too. He knew when we were done. He was waiting calmly by until the show, until the interview was over, so he could interrupt you, John. I mean, you, Geraldine.
he set his timer on his Apple Watch, didn't he?
Yeah, we've had some wonderful comments coming in. Ooh, watch out, little buddy. We've had some wonderful comments coming in. Hi, Tina. Happy Friday to Dog Hugs. Have a great weekend. Yes, you too.
You too, Tina.
Yes. Yes, we had a sound issue for a moment. That was my fault. Pilot error. Sorry about that, guys. Thanks, Joanne and Chloe, for letting us know that that's happening. It's great to see you guys. And yeah, the sound is back. Yeah.
We'll remedy that somehow.
Yeah, that was pilot error. Manish, great to see you again. Hi, great to see you guys.
Nice to see you.
Thank you so much for joining us today. Geraldine, do you have a shelter shout out today?
I do. I am going to grant a huge shout out today to one of my favorite shelters in Las Vegas, which was mentioned on Tuesday with our John Daly show, which is Heaven Can Wait Sanctuary. I'm lucky enough to still work with Heaven Can Wait Sanctuary. They actually own quite a few retail stores in Las Vegas, and they carry my cat products, and they'll be carrying my dog products soon, and they're fantastic. A lot of their proceeds help their rescue, and they're just an amazing group of people. And then John had mentioned that they have the prison training system with the women's prison out of Jean, Jean, Nevada, a dog training program. So I'm so grateful for them. So my shout out goes to Heaven Can Wait Sanctuary in my old stomping ground, Las Vegas,
Beautiful.
Nevada.
And folks, if you didn't have a chance to catch our interview with Geraldine's good friend John Daly, do catch it. And we'll make sure to post a link to that as well. He just really shared some more of what life is like in Las Vegas and the soul of rescuing dogs there. Yeah, great. Well, my shout out again goes to the Latham Foundation. They were really one of the first to recognize the short films that I've been doing with shelter dogs, and including, as you folks may know, I met Spider at Pet Orphans on a film set. He was the dog who didn't get adopted. And long story short, a month later, he was still at the shelter, and I decided I was up for a challenge, so I brought him home forever. Yeah, so big thanks to the Latham Foundation. My gratitude today goes to my parents. It is their wedding anniversary. Actually, if I'm doing the math right, now, wait a minute, Mom and Dad, you have had, I am older by a lot of years than you have had wedding anniversaries. No, wait a minute. Now something's not computing right here. I'm gonna have to think about that. Anyhow, Jen and I are going over there on Sunday. We're gonna have a nice anniversary barbecue dinner. I'm really looking forward to that. Yeah, that's my gratitude today. Love you, Mom and Dad.
Congratulations. Happy anniversary, Mr. and Mrs. K. And have fun tonight. You guys are going to have a really great time.
Yeah. That'll be Sunday.
I mean, Sunday. Sorry, Sunday.
Tonight, actually, we're getting together with them online. We play Zoom Bridge. We put on a Zoom room, and then we get onto this website called Bridge Base together. And we get to chat while we play bridge together. It's been really, really fun learning that game. Jen and I get to do that with my folks. Yeah.
I think that's great. I'm glad that you guys keep it going. And
yeah,
it's not time to shut things down. It's just time to be creative about how to keep it going.
Yeah. And actually, yesterday evening, we also had a family call, which we have weekly every Thursday evening, which my sister hosts. And so it's my sister and her family in Chicago and New Jersey, and my brother and his family in Brooklyn, and my other brother in Oregon, and me and my folks here in our homes in Los Angeles. And Jen will sometimes join us. It's a really wonderful weekly thing that I look forward to. Yeah.
I hope everybody has something special like that to look forward to, because that's really, really neat.
And folks, we really look forward to doing this with you. This really is a big, big part of my days, of my weeks. And so really enjoy having you as our guests today here in the Laundry Lounge and in KC. Yes. And
before we go, I'd like to just one quick little last blessing and prayer and gratitude for Robbie, for our team member Robbie. Oh, Spider's offering his gratitude as well. We miss her, as you all know, her soul dog, her heart dog, her river dog, her love dog passed away last Saturday. It'll be a week tomorrow. And, you know, you never really recover. You just learn to carry them with you, and you learn to live the lessons they taught you. And we're so grateful that Robbie was brave enough through everything she's been through to start standing up straight and discussing how great Hen was and always will be to her, and how we'll get her another Hen will come into her life. So I'm really grateful for Robbie. Hang in there. We miss you and we love you, and we look forward to catching up with you soon.
Amen.
And having you back.
Yeah. All right. Thanks again, Geraldine, and big hugs to you guys as well. Take care. See you Monday.